You're welcome. Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show. You're welcome. Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.
Aki gbogbo wa nílé lóko lẹ́yìn odi. Mo kí ẹ̀yin ìyá, mo kí ẹ̀yin bàbá, mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n, mo kí àbúrò, mo kí wa wípé a kú bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí. Èmi ọmọ yín àbúrò yín olólùfẹ́ yín Dr. Zabby Talk Show ààyè ọpẹ́ yọ ṣó yọ lọ́dọ̀ títí yín náà ní agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ààyè ọpẹ́ a máa yọ fún wa. Nípa lẹ́tà fọ̀ wọn ò ní fi lẹ́tà fọ̀ ránṣẹ́ sí wa. Àwa náà wà ní ṣìwí ẹ̀yin náà wà ní ṣìwá gbọ́ ní agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Àdẹ̀kù bó ṣe ń lọ àtúwákù kó lè dáa fún orílẹ̀-èdè wa fún àwọn ìran wa lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí tàbí àwọn ìran wa tí ó ń bọ̀ ní ọjọ́ iwájú. Wọ́n ní àṣélẹ̀ ni òun ni àbọ̀ wá bá. Àwọn òyìnbó ò jà fún nǹkan méjì. Tẹ́ bá rí president Amẹ́ríkà ẹ máa rí wípé kódà gan-an wọ́n rò wípé bóyá kò lè lo 3 months lórí oyè. Àwọn kan tiẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní takò ó ní ó ti dàgbà kò ní pẹ́ kú ẹ má jẹ́ ká tìtorí ẹ̀ ọgbọ́n ẹ má jẹ́ ká dìbò fún. Kí ni mo fẹ́ lò nínú èyí tí mo sọ yìí ni wípé kò má jà fún ara ẹ̀, ó ń jà fún àwọn ìran ẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀. Gbogbo nǹkan ọrọ̀ ajé Áfíríkà tán lọ ń kó wọ́n ń kó sílẹ̀ torí àwọn ìran wọn tó ń bọ̀ ni. Àwa náà kò gbọ́dọ̀ sú wa kò gbọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ wá. A gbọ́dọ̀ lajú sílẹ̀ kí àwọn ológun kan tó wá gbàjọba Nàìjíríà mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Yorùbá nation no going back. Ẹyọ kan ṣo tá a ní nìyẹn. Ìdùnnú ẹyọ kan ṣo tá a ní nìyẹn. Agbójúlẹ̀ ẹyọ kan ṣo tá a ní nìyẹn. Ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ ẹyọ kan ṣo tá a ní nìyẹn. Mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run wàhálà èmi àti yín kò ní já sórí asán. Ní bàbá ikú torí tólógun bá gbàjọba. Alágbádá ló lè ṣe nǹkan tó bá wùn ẹ́ bọ̀ tólógun bá wá débẹ̀ ńkọ́. Ṣé tí wàá fẹ́ dá àwọn ológun ṣe tí fẹ́ dá wọn lẹ́bi ni. Bọ̀ àwa ló máa wá dùn jù kí Ọlọ́run kó ṣàánú wa. Ọ̀nà àrà lómi máa ń gbà wọnú àgbọ̀n tí ò sí ẹni tó yé. Ọ̀nà àrà náà ní k'Ọlọ́run kó bá wa ṣe. Bọ́jú gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ náà òyìnbó ò lo orúkọ Ọlọ́run láti fi ṣe bridge. Òyìnbó ò lo orúkọ Ọlọ́run láti fi lọ sí space. Òyìnbó ò lo orúkọ Ọlọ́run kó tó gbé bridge kọjá ní agbede méjì òkun ọ̀sà agbadalúgbú omi. Òyìnbó ò lo orúkọ Ọlọ́run. Bọ̀ àwọn ló gbé orúkọ Ọlọ́run yẹn ló gbé wá bá wa òun làwa ń lò. Ó wọ́ọ̀kì fún wa kò dẹ̀ tún wọ́ọ̀kì fún wa. Torí pé kí ni Ọlọ́run sọ pé ká ṣe làákàyè. Ọlọ́run ò ní bọ́lẹ̀ láti sánmọ̀ láti wá ṣe nǹkan kan fún wa. Ó wá kù sí wa lọ́wọ́ láti ṣe. Ìyẹn ni òyìnbó wá ń ṣe. Òyìnbó gbórúkọ Ọlọ́run yẹn wọ́n gbé sílẹ̀ wọ́n wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní lo làákàyè wọn. Torí Ọlọ́run náà sọ pé ẹ lo làákàyè yín. Ó tún béèrè question ó ní ṣé ẹ̀yin ò ṣe làákàyè bí ni. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹnu wa kò jù báyìí lọ ni gbogbo àwọn tó sọ pé bàbá wa ní kó ṣe bàbá wa ló kàn Yorùbá ló kàn. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹnu wa kò jù báyìí lọ ni ọ̀rọ̀ wa ti yàtọ̀. Bá ṣe wá ń gbé sókè àwọn kan ò ní máa fà sílẹ̀. Táwọn kan bá tiẹ̀ máa fà sílẹ̀ wọn ò ní tó àwa tá à ń gbé sókè lọ. Èwo ni mo tún mú wá lọ́jọ́ títí òní ó lágbára ó lẹ́tìkẹ́. Ó dẹ̀ jẹ́ nǹkan tí ó bàyàn lẹ́rù. Bọ̀ tó lè má wá ba púpọ̀ nínú àwọn tó wà nílùú òyìnbó lẹ́rù torí pé ṣàṣà lẹ́ni tó máa délé ẹ̀ nílùú òyìnbó tí ò ti lóúnjẹ tó jẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ dànù tó ti expire tó ń wí pé jẹ́ ẹja eléyìí nù báwo ni fridge ṣe rí báyìí. Kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe ti individual kò ń ṣe orí òjòrí nìkan. Tẹ́ bá tún dé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn bí nílùú òyìnbó ṣé restaurant lẹ fẹ́ sọ ni ṣé nínú hospital lẹ fẹ́ sọ ni àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Oúnjẹ tó ń dànù lójúmọ́ nínú ìlú òyìnbó ó tó máa bọ́ àwọn abúlé kan ní Áfíríkà fódìdí oṣù kan. Bí tẹ́ bá ti jẹ́ tán fóṣù kan o, àtúnkó mi wà àtúnkó wá bá yín. Bọ́dà mi àti sísà mi, nǹkan ti bàjẹ́ nílùú Nàìjíríà yẹn tí ò dẹ̀ sí future kò lè dá ìpè kọ́, kò sí ọjọ́ iwájú gẹ́gẹ́ bí Yorùbá ṣe ń sọ, gẹ́gẹ́ bọ́n ṣe ní à ń láti máa mọ bá a ṣe máa lágbára tipátipá bá a ṣe máa gbé èdè wa lárugẹ. Nǹkan ti bàjẹ́ ju bá a ṣe lérò lọ. Ọwọ́ bàbá wa Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu kò lè ká nǹkan kan ní nǹkan tó ti bàjẹ́. Ẹ rí wípé ní House of Assembly gan tẹ bá jẹ́ ẹni tó ń tẹ̀lé wọn back to back, ẹ máa rí wípé bó ṣe wà náà ló wà, ọ̀rọ̀ ara wọn ò yéra wọn. Báwọn gan ṣe ń fà sókè ló ń fà sílẹ̀. Ẹ wo orú nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Niger. I'm pretty sure wípé tó bá jẹ́rú Kútọnu ló ti ṣẹlẹ̀, ṣe mọ̀ wípé Kútọnu bọ́dà tiwa tó súnmọ́ àwọn Yorùbá, wọ́n máa ní kí Bọ́lá Ahmed kókógun máa lọ bẹ̀ ni. Bọ̀ṣẹ́ rí bó ṣe ń pariwo wípé láéláé àwọn èèyàn àwọn ló wà ń bẹ̀, àwọn bàbá àwọn ló wà ń bẹ̀, àwọn ìyá àwọn ló wà ń bẹ̀, àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n àwọn ló wà ń bẹ̀. Tó bá jẹ́bi tán ti fẹ́ wá jẹ ìsàlẹ̀ ń bí lọ́ máa ti jẹrun, ẹ máa rí wípé wọ́n máa support. And I'm pretty sure wípé tán bá ní kán lọ wo àwọn wo náà support wípé kí Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu kán gbógun lọ sí Niger, ẹ máa rí wípé àwọn tọ̀dọ̀ wa ń bí ni àwọn Yorùbá ń bí náà máa support bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu torí pọ̀ ní choice. Kódà gan pàápàá àwọn ọba míì wà gan ààbò wọn à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní àwọn ọba míì tán já látẹnujẹ tán ní direct number sí bàbá, wọ́n máa ti pe bàbá gan wípé ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ gbà fún wọn o láéláé, you know. But ọlá wípé àwọn náà ti ń rí wípé tó bá ju nǹkan kan níbẹ̀ yẹn ó máa dé ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn. Bí ò dé ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn, ẹ ṣàgbọ́ ìgbà tí bàbá búbù Buhari tó sọ wípé tẹ bá fóun wàhálà jù òun lọ bẹ̀, táwa náà dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ibi tó ti wá nìyẹn. Torí ilé sílé ni, woro sí woro ni, ẹ̀yìnkùnlé síwájú ilé òun náà jọ jẹ́, ọmọ ìyá náà jọ jẹ́. Àwọn tó yẹ kán jọ pé wọn papọ̀ nìyẹn. Òyìnbó ló ṣe màdàrú, àwa àti Fúlàní àjọ ní nǹkan kan. Fúlàní àtàwọn Niger lọ́jọ́, Fúlàní ló ní Niger. Àwọn Haúsá àwọn yẹn yàtọ̀. Ṣé mọ̀ pé wọ́n ti ń pa Haúsá Fúlàní ńsìn? Haúsá ọ̀tọ̀, Fúlàní ọ̀tọ̀. Bó ṣe fẹ́ wá sọ wá di Yorùbá Fúlàní, Yorùbá Haúsá, òun náà ṣe fún àwọn Haúsá. Brọ́dà mi àti sísà mi, àwọn pípù yẹn ọ̀kọ̀ kílẹ̀ má bàjẹ́ ju bó ṣe wà yìí lọ. Eléyìí ṣebí nígbà bàbá tiwa kọ́, torí bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu àwọn la lè pè ní bàbá wa. Ìgbà tí búbù wà ń bẹ̀, tí Buhari tó fi wà ń bẹ̀, ṣé mọyì àwọn èèyàn, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi fi sí comment section, ẹ mọyì àwọn èèyàn tó lọ ń pokùnso, ṣé mọyì àwọn èèyàn tó lọ bọ́ sínú omi, ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tàbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́? Ẹ jẹ́ kí n rí comment, ẹ jẹ́ kí n rí ṣé yes or no ni. Nínú fídíò tá a máa wá wò yìí sí yẹn lẹ máa fi mọ̀ wípé rẹ́rẹ́ ti rán. Bọ́dà mi àti sísà mi, ẹ bá wa share ètò yìí. Ẹ̀yin tó bá jẹ́ nígbà àkọ́kọ́ tẹ́ kọ́kọ́ máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, ẹ bá wa like, ẹ bá wa fi comment sílẹ̀, ẹ dẹ̀ bá wa subscribe tó bá jẹ́ nígbà àkọ́kọ́ ni. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti máa ń bá wa share, tẹ́ dẹ̀ máa ń like, tẹ́ máa ń wo program wa, ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ojú òní ti yín, ẹ ní dánìkan ṣayé ní agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Mo kí wa wípé a kú ìfẹ́ ọmọ ènìyàn ṣe. Yorùbá nation no going back. Ìgbẹ́kẹ̀lé wa ni, ìdùnnú wa ni. Nǹkan tá à ń wò lọ́nkàn ìpè Ọlọ́run bá orí máa tó wa lọ́wọ́ ni. Mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ó máa tó wa lẹ́nu. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré lọ sí ìpolówó ká tó gbé fídíò náà wá ká tó jọ ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò lórí ẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. God bless you.
Àǹfààní ńlá rèé láti ilé-iṣẹ́ Serimas Homes and Apartments fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin arìnrìn-àjò nílẹ̀ yìí àti láti òkè òkun wá sí ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú owó tí kò gani lára láti fún ara ní ìsinmi aláìlẹ́gbẹ́. Fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ fẹ́ fún ara ní ìsinmi pẹ̀lú àwọn ohun amáyédẹrùn bíi ìyàrá ọlọ́yẹ́, íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì, ilé ìdáná àti àyíká tó rẹwà. Bákan náà, àǹfààní yìí wà fún ẹ̀yin tó fẹ́ darí padà sí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ààyè tó dàbí ilé ẹni ni. Fún àlàyé ẹ kàn sí ilé-iṣẹ́ Serimas Homes and Apartments ní nọ́mbà 2F Akérèlé Extension Surulere, Lagos, Nigeria. Ẹ pè 08066710843 tàbí 08149737740 tàbí +44 789 795 8178.
You're welcome. Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.
A kí wa wípé a káàbọ̀ sórí ètò lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo fídíò ọ̀hún ká lọ ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò lórí ẹ̀.
It's like it has bar everybody. That's what you say. It has hit. It has hit everybody. Yeah, it seemed to. The Nigerians are faced with multiple challenges. We have the challenge of the inflation. The cost of everything has gone up. Food prices. The official figure is different from the figure that Nigerians are feeling. Nigerians are experiencing 100-200% increase in the cost of daily consumables that you cannot avoid. The cost of fuel up, which has affected transportation. The cost of dollar is floating. So it means today you are buying for 7 something, tomorrow you are buying for over 800 naira. And all of these things put together, it's putting a huge burden on Nigerians, and we're seeing it cranky people everywhere. How do we deal with this economy? Can we still create wealth within this economic structure?
Well, thanks for having me. Nice to be here again. It's very, very important for us to realize that the situation is right there. There is no doubt about that. But we also have to face reality of the environment that we operate in. So the first thing I want us to understand is that it's not going to get better, so that we'll not keep having these unrealistic expectations. If you look back at our democracy since 1999, we have never had a better government. So go think back 23 years.
It keeps getting worse.
It keeps getting worse. It has never gotten better. So we need to have that reality behind us while we are looking at the future. Because you see, life is lived forward but understood backwards. We have never had a better government. So to believe or expect that, oh, this one will be better than the former one, you're going to be setting up yourself for trouble. So that's number one mindset you need to have. It's not going to get better. Even when we look at it prophetically, darkness will cover the earth, gross darkness the people. So it's not going to get better. But we're going to go through what has happened with this new government is that they are making the right decisions. Now, the right decisions they are making is going to make things tougher. But if we are able to weather the storm, there is light at the end of the tunnel. With reference to subsidy, I wish that with reference to subsidy, we have all accepted the 2012 verdict. Because Sanusi was crying. Was he Okonjo Iweala? They were all crying. They gave us the figures. But this same APC government and many other people were against them. Today now, some people are fighting. This subsidy is a fraud. We all know it has to go. So anyone that is saying they should not remove subsidy, you are not being realistic. Because we are at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. So subsidy must go. The challenge is always, should it go now? What do we need to put in place before it go? All those are stuff we will discuss with time. But that it must go, it has gone. Number two, the floating of the dollar. It's a good decision. But one thing we need to understand is that there's what we call the gestation period for every policy. When a policy is made, it takes between 6 months to 2 years, all other factors being considered, before the benefit of that policy begins to come. So all these ones we think things are tough. It's not tough. We have not started. So don't even disease, you have not started, because we are just less than 2 months in the policy now. So it is when the policy goes through its gestation period. So for the fuel subsidy, for instance, it's going to go higher and higher. Then when all the fuel that people that have given licenses have come in, then it can begin to go down. But don't forget that we don't have any refinery. We have not been able to have one refinery in almost 40 years.
Yes.
Yet an individual did one in less than 4 years. Another one is doing one now that will be ready in another 4 years. It shows that we are not ready. So for you to be expecting that government will do something for you, you are fooling yourself. Wow. The government is not there to help you, so you have to think of how to help yourself, which is where survival strategy now comes in. So my own advice for individual is to...
Kó tó dé advice tí Dr. Olumide Emmanuel kó tó di wípé wọ́n máa lọ sí advice tó fẹ́ sọ fún wa. Ṣé gbọ́ nǹkan tó ń sọ? Kò lè change, kò lè sí ìyàtọ̀. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe sọ wípé Buhari kó tó di pé Buhari débẹ̀ a ní good luck, kò ṣe dáadáa, Ọlọ́run ti bá wa ṣe, ìjọba Buhari gan ó tún dáa ju ìjọba good luck lọ. Ẹ máa rí nsìn wípé a tún máa ní ìjọba Buhari ó dáa ju ìjọba Tinubu lọ. Ìyẹn ni mo fi sọ̀rọ̀ pé àwọn tó ní ó tiẹ̀ ti sú àwọn, táwọn èèyàn lọ ń bẹ́ sódò, táwọn èèyàn lọ ń para wọn. Ṣé wàá rí ibi tá a wọ̀ gangan, ṣe rí ojú agbami tán tún wá ní òkè o, ẹni sùúrù nǹkan kan ò lè change o. But refinery tán tiẹ̀ wá sọ gangan tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fún aráàlú kán lè máa jàǹfààní ẹ̀, ó wá di individual. Ó ti wá di wípé tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé àwọn èèyàn yìí, àwọn òyìnbó yìí, àwọn náà sponsor, àwọn náà wà nídìí ẹ̀, àwọn náà ra chair tó jù nínú ẹ̀. Nǹkan ti ṣe, ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀, wọ́n máa sọ pé bóyá ó rúgbó, wàhálà yẹn ti wà. Ṣùgbọ́n ṣé pé Nàìjíríà máa wọlé ni, àló tí ń wọlé ń sìn, bóyá ṣẹmọ̀ tán bá ń fa omi nínú kànga, tí wọ́n yé ń fà sókè yẹn, bóyá ni àwa ò tiẹ̀ gbàdúrà kan rí fà. Bó a kàn fi ń sọ fún àwọn tó jẹ́ wípé a ti ń sọ fún tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ wípé a náà lè rí èpè kọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá wa ṣe, bàbá wa ìbí Yorùbá ni, ṣebí Yorùbá ni, òun náà lélẹ́yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká la etí wa sílẹ̀, kẹ́ mú báírò àti pépà, ẹ̀yin wọn Nàìjíríà ni à ń bá wí báyìí. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ní bàbá wa ló kan, ẹ jẹ́ bá wa ṣí ẹ̀ fún wọn. Tó bá jẹ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílùú òyìnbó náà tẹ́ ń sponsor wípé ẹ jẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe ọmọ olódò dẹni, òun ló kàn, ojúṣà ti tì yín, ibo lẹ fẹ́ fojú sí, ẹ̀yin Yorùbá kinní kan. Ṣé tá bá gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá náà, ṣáwa nìkan la fẹ́ jọ? Ṣé àwa ni ìrọ̀rùn, èèyàn kan ṣe ni ìrọ̀rùn fẹ́ bá? Tàbí àwọn apá ibì kan ni ìrọ̀rùn fẹ́ bá? Ìrọ̀rùn máa bá gbogbo wa ni. Torí wàhálà tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Niger, torí pé wọ́n jẹ́ elédè kan náà ni, wọ́n ń ṣe ẹ̀sìn kan náà. Ká má wàá mú ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn mọ́ níbi tí ojú ti wá làdé yìí. Oníkálukú lè ṣe ẹ̀sìn tó bá wùn, tó bá wùn ẹ̀ kó ṣẹ̀, tó bá wùn ẹ̀ kó má ṣe ẹ̀sìn. Yorùbá ti la ojú dé yẹn, yàtọ̀ sí àwọn tó jẹ́ wípé wọ́n ti gba wèrè mọ́sìn. Bọ̀ Yorùbá, omi kan náà la mọ orúkọ àwọn omi wa, a mọ gbogbo orúkọ àwọn omi tó wà ní gbogbo àwọn ilẹ̀ Yíbò nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn náà. Àwọn náà ní àwọn odò tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ń bọ nǹkan kan, wọ́n lọ ń ṣọdún ń bẹ̀, ògbóró nǹkan bẹ̀. Bọ̀ àwa Yorùbá, tó bá máa pọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá bíi méjì, tó bá máa sọ pé especially èyí tó popular jù, tó Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo tó máa ń ṣe once in a year. Àwọn odò kan náà tún wà bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa ń ṣe, tó jẹ́ pé tó bá sọ fún ọmọ Yorùbá, kódà gan mọ́ bí sí ìlú òyìnbó gan, tí ìyá ẹ̀ bá sọ pé àwọn ṣọdún kan níbì kan lọ́dọ̀ òun, wọ́n máa mọ̀ nǹkan kan náà jọ ni wá ni mo fẹ́ fàyọ. Orísun kan náà láti jọ dìde, gẹ́gẹ́ bọ́n ẹ máa ń sọ wípé Ilé Ifẹ̀ ní gbogbo wa láti tàn kákàkiri. Irú èmi yìí ń sìn tí mo jẹ́ ọmọ Rẹ́mọ ń sìn, oríkì mi, ẹni tó bọ́ba tufẹ̀ wá, ẹni tó bọ́ba látufẹ̀ wá, a bá ọba látufẹ̀ wá, ta fi wá tẹ̀dó, ta fi jẹ́ ìran ní Rẹ́mọ, níjẹ̀bú Rẹ́mọ. Ṣé understand sìn? Gẹ́gẹ́ bí gbogbo wa ṣe mọ̀ wípé òkè àti Ilé Ifẹ̀, ibẹ̀ ni níbi tí ojúmọ́ ti mọ́, ibẹ̀ ni gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ti tàn. Tá bá wọnú ara, a máa ní ìtàn tó ṣáà máa fi one way or the other tá máa fi jálura wa ṣá. bọ̀ kò sí tàn tó lè mú wa jálura wa lọ́dọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Yíbò tàbí lọ́dọ̀ ọmọ Haúsá lọ, kò sí nǹkan kan tó lè jẹ́. Tó bá jẹ́ wípé tá bá wà bí àwọn Nìjẹ̀, nǹkan tó lè help wa nìyẹn láti lè tè gbára wa ipòkè tó bá tiẹ̀ wá jẹ́ pé a fẹ́ gbára wa kúrò lọ́dọ̀ àwọn alágbádá a fẹ́ dá dúró, ó máa easy bọ̀ nǹkan ajú mẹ́ta gan lọ. Aju ìran mẹ́ta, aju mẹ́ta, kò ń ṣe Haúsá, Ìgbò, ìpè Yorùbá, no, aju bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Nǹkan ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ńsìn. Ìwọ tó bá wà ń lo òyìnbó, tó bá ti ń fi £100 ránṣẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, ó ti mọ iye tó fẹ́ fi ránṣẹ́ ńsìn torí ìyá tó ń fún ní 50,000 naira. Nǹkan tó ń rà gan sì ní 50,000 naira yẹn. Báàgì ráìsì ẹyọ kan ṣó ti ń lọ sí 50,000 naira. Ẹ dẹ̀ yìí máa dúró bóyá bíi 2 years or 3 years. Bóyá tó bá máa fi ṣe mọ̀ pé wọ́n dẹ̀ yìí máa ń ṣe nìyẹn. By the time tó bá máa lo bíi 3 years, tó bá máa tó bí ẹnu, ṣe mọ̀ pé tó bá fẹ́ gbẹ́nu lé 4 years náà máa campaign. Àwọn á sáré máa rush láti máa ṣàwọn nǹkan kan fún yín gbà yẹn. Ibo lọpọlọ wá wà, ibo la máa ń forí sí náà. A sáré wá máa rush àwọn nǹkan kan ṣe fún wa gbà. Ṣé mú express Ìbàdàn, express Lagos Ìbàdàn láti ọjọ́ tán ti ń ṣe, tán bá tún fẹ́ campaign, á tún lọ ṣe àwọn train kan, tán máa lọ ra àwọn viale use tàbí àwọn tòkunbọ̀ tán máa lọ rà wá láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn China. Wọ́n máa gbé wá, á bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ni máa yà fọ́tò, wọ́n máa láwọn short. Àwa ọmọ Yorùbá a lè gbọ́n o, a lè gbọ́n iyan dá sọ. Nǹkan kan ṣe tó bá máa mú wa tá bá gbọ́n ni wípé ká kúrò wípé a pariwo síta, ká jáde lógúnlógún, ká jáde lọ́gbọ̀nlọ́gbọ̀n, ká fi èrò inú wa hàn síjọba wípé àló ti tó sẹ́ aláàṣẹ mọ́ àníkẹ́ pín wa sẹ́. Bọ̀ pẹ̀lú eléyìí, kéèyàn kan má complain, ẹ fi ara balẹ̀ kẹ́ wá gbọ́ àlàyé yìí bọ́n ṣe gé nípele. Kó ní kálukú máa mú tiẹ̀ ń bẹ̀. Gbogbo àwọn tó wà ní Nàìjíríà tó ní one Nàìjíríà yẹn, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa bá lọ. Now,
to understand that the principles that makes for surviving and thriving in any economy has never changed. There's nothing you're going through today that people have never gone through before. They survived it. If we survive lockdown, we'll survive this one. We just need to face reality. And the reality is twofold. Increase your income or reduce your expenditure. But many times people always think of increasing income alone. Reducing your expenditure is a major aspect of surviving any economy because the income will not necessarily increase if you don't have value that you are offering that will demand money to flow to you. So if you are earning salary will not increase. They will even most likely sack you. Because if I'm to advise an entrepreneur right now, entrepreneurs should be making the tough decisions. Tough decisions include letting go of people that you can survive without. Letting go of people so that you can be able to have a lean operation and then be able to survive as a business. So that means you that think that things are tough, that the salary is small, you most likely even lose that small salary because entrepreneurs will have to make the tough decision. So number one is reducing your expenditure. And I want to deal with the major aspect of life. And please listen to me objectively if you want solution.
Register your domain and start your website with Hostingo.
Money on. You don't need to spend money on them. You are spending money on them because somebody has programmed you to think that way. And until we go back and face reality, we're going to remain. So let's go to the major thing. Food, clothing, shelter, academics. Those are the things that take money. So let's break it down. Number one, food. You say 3 square meters. Is 3 a square or a triangle? Who told you you must eat 3 times a day? That's part of the setup. So we have all been breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Where? Who told you that? Who defined it such? So even when you are not hungry, you are asking for food. You ask yourself, hey, where's my lunch? Are you hungry? Hey, but I've not eaten lunch. Must you eat lunch? So everybody must go sit down as a family and say, okay, in this family, from today, 011, 101, 001, whatever, you must reduce your food. Because you eat to live, you don't live to eat. If you eat once a day, you will not die. No. You're going to go through a period within 2-3 weeks, you will adjust. You'll be shocked that once a day is okay and you'll be healthy. Once you eat well, that's on the food aspect. On the issue of clothing, we don't need to talk too much. Most of the time, it's self-esteem issues. People don't even know what you are wearing. There's what we call the 20-40-60 principle. When people are in their 20s and in their 30s, most of the decisions they make is based on what people will say, how people will feel. By the time you get to your 40s and 50s, you don't care what anybody is saying. By the time you become 60, you realize that nobody was even saying anything in the first place. You are the one setting yourself up. How many times have you done hair, wore shoe, and nobody saw? That you now told them, you didn't say myself, you do shoe. Your husband will give you money to go to salon. and you will return, and he will not even commend you because he has forgotten. There are many things the man is thinking of. It's not that you went to do air. So most of it we are spending money on. All the clothes you have in your wardrobe, your bungalow is in your wardrobe. All the clothes you have in your wardrobe, how many have you won? All through lockdown, what did you do with those clothes? We are bag and shoe to match. Our destiny is not matching our bank account. We are wearing both straight. Our life is not straight.
Amen.
We are wearing three-piece suit. We don't have three-story building. We need to cut down on all the waste and excesses. Then let's go to shelter. Now you have a wife. Many of us grew up in room and parlor.
You want to stop him?
Husband, wife, and 5 children. We grew up in one room. We grew up in room and parlor. We survived. Cutting was what our parents were using to survive. They didn't have car, they were happy. Now you have cars, you are sad. Now you are in duplex, you are frustrated. Why? Because we have built our appetites over the years based on materialism, what people will think, what people will feel, and we have set ourselves up. You'll be amazed that in Lagos today, the illiterates are the landlord, the educated ones are the tenants. All those people we call illiterate that we think they don't have brain, they are the ones buying land, building houses. You now, you go and park a 14 million naira car in an 8 million naira rented apartment. You think you are a big boy, you lack understanding. And the tenant will be calling you landlord will be calling you tenants. So we need to cut down on houses. Any room you don't need is not your own. Abroad, they do fostering, they rent out room. It's time for us to begin to think, okay, this one now, do I need to move to Ibadan? Do I need to move to Ogun State? Do I need to move to a cheaper place to save my destiny and save my family? Because it's not going to get better. Do I need to move from 3-bedroom to 2 or from a duplex to a flat? Do we need to cut? That is what needs to happen. Then let's go to education.
So Olumide Emmanuel has been giving us some gbas-gbos.
Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ brother mi àti sister mi? Because kò lè get better. Kí la wá ń sọ? Torí kí la ṣe gbé ọ̀rọ̀ wípé ẹ jẹ́ ká pín, ẹ jẹ́ ká panupọ̀. Torí ìwọ tó bá ti ń gbé ìwọ you want Nigeria. Ẹ má complain. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti wá ń bọ́ síta, ẹ ti mọ̀ pé bàbá Tinubu ìbò tẹ́ dì fún irọ́ ló pa fún yín kíní kan, ẹ ti yá jù. Kò lè change, wọn máa wọ́ sí ni. Tó bá ti wà tìyàwó ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá ti wà nínú 2 bed, ẹ lọ gba a room self-contained nsìn. Tẹ́ bá wà nínú self-contained tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, tètè lọ gba face me and face you. Torí nǹkan tó ń bọ̀ ó lágbára. Nǹkan tó ń bọ̀ ó ṣe kí ni ó lágbára. Ṣẹ́ṣẹ̀ lọ fi ń rìn láti bóyá láti Òyìngbò lọ sí Yaba tàbí láti Yaba lọ sí Mushin sìn. Bóyá òyìn máa fi ẹsẹ̀ máa rìn láti Bẹ́gà máa lọ sí Ìbàdàn. Níbi tọ́rọ̀ yìí níbi tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nsìn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀síwájú.
That we need in the season, and some of us are already reanalyzing our expenditure even right on the show. You need to act on these things. You were going to go into education.
So let's go into education. Number one, who told you that you must go to school? Where did you get the idea from? Who ingrained that thinking into you? A child is not supposed to go to school until the child is 4 years old. Because we destroyed the public education, a generation of private school owners came and started coming up with products to take money from our pocket and program us into the bondage of education. So they start talking of preschool, kindergarten, all kinds of names for the first 4 years where nothing. And many people now, that's what you are spending money on. So your husband is earning 250. You are earning 80,000 or 100,000. So the total money coming to your family is 350. The school fees you are paying is 200. Where's the wisdom? Can't somebody stay at home and say, look, you know what? For the first 4 years of my child's life, I'm going to stay, I'm going to homeschool this child. My husband, you'll be working. I will stay at home. Many women that are working today, they are not supposed to be working. It has nothing to do with family. It's about my family. What's our family value? This is the formative stage of this children. Stay at home because what you are going to earn is not even anything. You are going to earn 100. So if you are earning something big, they might say, okay, honey, maybe the man will be the one to stay at home. Because we see this happening all over. So we should diffuse ourselves.
You say that again, sir. Because your voice was very loud when you were saying the women can stay at home.
No.
If the woman is earning more,
the man should stay at home. It's happening everywhere. It's for your family. The man will now stay at home. You homeschool these people. Because one of the things that has affected us is because we have this mindset of full-time housewife, full-time. There's nothing like that anymore in the 21st century. Because everybody, full-time housewife. Because everybody can work from home now. So from home, you can be a millionaire, a billionaire from your home. There are many things you can do from home. So there is nothing like, I don't want to be a full-time housewife. You can be a stay-at-home mom and run things from home and take care of the formative stage of your children. When it's now time for them to go to school, the most important education is primary and secondary. Case closed.
I agree.
Anything after secondary school, you are fooling yourself. Majority of the university today, they are all just wasting their life away. Because many of the courses you are studying is useless. The world is changing.
Yeah.
The day you
Many
enter
of the
school,
courses are useless.
by the time you graduate in 5 years' time, everything you have learned is useless. Over 80% of what you learn in university is useless in the real world. So what are we killing ourselves? University, you don't know any trade, you don't have anything. After you finish 22 years in school, the first letter you write is I beg to apply. So the educational system was programmed to make you a beggar, so that you can be begging for job, because we have people graduating, they can't create job, they are seeking for job. Once you have finished primary school and you have discovered purpose, from primary school, you can now say, okay, I'm going to catering school 3 years or 2 years. I'm going to tailoring school 2 years. You will now go and study to develop the skill that you have discovered.
And you can become a chef
from that point.
At 13.
Because the courses of the future, most of the courses people are studying now, they are trying to solve yesterday's problem. The courses that will solve tomorrow's problem does not require 4 years. Why? Because certification is almost every 6 months. New things are coming out. So you need between 6 months to 18, 2 years max, to be focused on the basics of any skill or career, and then you continue to grow in that career.
What about computer programming?
In fact, that's the simplest one. In 6 weeks, you can start making money. In 6 weeks.
You don't need to go to
Scrum
spend 4
master,
years.
Cyber security, all manner of stuff going on. You can sit in your house and you'll be making millions in dollars legally. There are schools in this Lagos that will teach you that free of charge. They will house you, they will feed you, they will teach you free, they will still give you a job. And then you will pay back when you get a job over a period of time. School free in this Lagos. People are not looking for that. They want to go and do 4 years, and then 4 years that will become 6 years, because it's the programming. Because when we're growing up, our parents want you to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. All those courses are useless now. AI is taking over.
What I'm hearing you is
we should about law. Law is
we should
there is nothing called law, but it's expired. They are all expired courses. Law, medicine.
It's about
AI is doing it, and Watson will take over. The law you are studying law in Nigeria. When you get to England, you can't practice. You have to acclimatize to their own. You do their bar. You go to America and say, but the software now, AI, will be a global lawyer that has every law of every nation and understands every language. So which law are you reading? We're just wasting time. It's a programming that we have not yet understood. And we are still following that assembly line.
So I argue with all this medicine. I won't leave law. Medicine. You actually need to go and study medicine.
Auntie Yenny, there are AI now, there are robots now. We're in the fourth, in fact, we're in the 15th doctorate of which, Auntie Yenny, that I will put the machine on your body now. It will tell me everything about you from A to Z, from head to toe, the state of your kidney, your liver, your lung, and the treatment you need to have. Do you know there are tablets you can take now, just one vitamin? Everything you need for your whole day is inside. You don't need to eat.
Sir, I agree with most of the things.
And you'll be okay. So I'm not saying that those things will not be needed, but the number of people that are going in there will be left stranded, because by the time you come out, we need 50. There are 5 million of you. You will not be stranded. So we need to begin to think
differently.
Yeah,
that's it.
I get
Because
that.
the way forward is you must be a value creator. Many people are in the marketplace, they are not offering value. They are just going to collect. And what does it mean? Money flows in exchange for value. What is value? Meeting needs, solving problems, and answering questions. So you must have something you are offering your generation that they are paying you for. People don't employ for activity anymore. They employ for productivity. You know you are an entrepreneur. Do you know how many unemployable graduates we have in Nigeria? They can't speak good English. They can't write letter without correction.
They didn't go to school.
And these are the people. And you are talking to them.
They went to school.
They went to school, but school didn't go through them, because most of these schools, they are not teaching them anything. They are just buying handouts.
I agree with you.
Do you have an idea of the Nigerian university? 300 people in the class, 120 people in the class, 80 people in the class. Lecturers don't come.
They don't even come.
These are the realities. Why are we deceiving ourselves? You now say my child is in this, is in that. Then we now say it's a
And
private.
you're borrowing money to pay for it.
This is a private university. This one is a private this. This one is a Christian. There is no Christian school. There's no Muslim school.
Mariam wants to
just jump in a bit.
Okay.
So, you know, I think you're my favorite guest. Every time you come, I learn a lot. I just want to, let's just clarify this education thing. I know the message you're trying to put across, But I feel that there's such a generalization. Some people will be confused and think that university education is a no-no. I'm trying to understand that you mean the state of our tertiary education right now, because of the way it is, we need to look for other alternatives to educate ourselves. That's what you're saying.
Now, what I'm saying is this.
Because, let me just add this, because this AI you're talking about, those people that have created this, they went to university.
Now, so listen, please listen. I have 2 master's degrees, I have 2 PhD, not all. I went to school, so I have 2 PhD. So I'm not saying that you should not go to school. I'm not saying that you don't need education. But when you are going to school, be going to school because you really need it. Be going to school because it is important to help you to become who you are supposed to be. Many people already discover what they are supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a fashion designer, but because of this programming, you want to first go and do medicine. Yes, then you now come back to that. You want to first do architecture first. That is the deception I'm talking about. And then when you are going to school, don't go to school based on the programming of the courses you think will help you to be marketable. Go to school to study the courses that will help you to solve the problem of the world you are living in. Many of us are mirroring our parents' dreams and desires. That's why the popular courses now, do you know that in our own days, if you have told your mom you want to be an actor, an actress, they will have said you are a prostitute, they will have said you are doing this, you want to be a footballer, they will say, hey, God, who did this to me? But now, we are in the same case now. If a child comes to you now and says, Mommy, I want to be a drone pilot, will you agree? If your child comes to you today now and says, I want to go into robotics, will you agree? I want to be a graphic artist, will you agree? Because in your consciousness, being a graphic artist is not a career. It's graphic artist, they draw picture. That is the program that we have all been programmed in. The colonial masters messed us up, and we are messing up the next generation. Because think of it. Every time you ask a child, what do you want to become? Majority of them tell you they want to become something that requires them to go and get a job from somebody to get a salary. That's the programming I'm talking about. We have been programmed to go to school. The education sector, as it is today, was not set up to help you. It was set up to create workers for the marketplace for capitalists. So it's for us to now know that, look, I'm not going to be a pawn in that. I'm going to go to school to learn to earn, to learn to develop my skill so that I can be skillful, to be able to offer value so that money will flow.
Okay. Toby wanted to throw in something.
Yes.
Are you going to education or you're doing?
He has hinged on it. Because, sometimes I feel like this programming that you speak about has been so in-depth in our hearts. Yeah. And it's difficult to step away from. So for our viewers today, step by step, how do you advise that we can move away from this programming that generations have passed down to us, understanding that it's important to go to school?
It takes a lot, so I'm not going to tell you.
Kó tó di wípé wọ́n tẹ̀síwájú, mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí wípé a kú bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí níbikíbi tí ẹ bá wà níbikíbi tí ẹ bá ti darapọ̀ mọ́ ètò yìí. Ẹ máa fi comment sílẹ̀, ṣó make sense tàbí nǹkan tó ń sọ yẹn ṣó yé wa tàbí kò yé wa. Ṣá rí ẹ̀kọ́ kan ńbẹ̀, ṣó tó nǹkan ta lè fi ránṣẹ́ fún àwọn tó ń láwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà àti àwọn olólùfẹ́ wa náà tó lọ́ máa kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ tó pọ̀ nínú ẹ̀. Torí nǹkan tí Nàìjíríà tó wà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí, gbogbo nǹkan kí nǹkan, although ó ti ń rí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà. Ẹ máa ti rí àwọn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n parí uni, wọ́n padà lọ kọ́ṣẹ́ ni, ó ti ń pọ̀ gan-an ni. Bọ̀ kí láǹfààní àti wá lọ sí uni gangan? Àwọn tó ń wọlé sí wa lára nípa ọ̀rọ̀ education. Primary 1 ló máa ti wọlé sí yín lára o, ẹ dẹ̀ ń lọ sí primary 6, tẹ́ bá ti dé primary 2, wọ́n máa jáwọ́ nínú ọ̀rọ̀ yín. Kí ni mo fẹ́ fàyọ ń bẹ̀ yẹn ni wípé, by the time tó bá wá campaign fún yín, àwọn máa ṣe gudugudu méje mẹ́fà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ school dé. Ẹ máa ju tọwọ́ yín sílẹ̀ torí wọ́n máa ti rán àwọn èèyàn sí àwọn olórí. Ẹ ṣàgbọ́n nǹkan tí bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed sọ nígbà tó ń fi campaign fún Tinubu, fún Buhari. Àwọn máa fún àwọn student, àwọn máa fún wọn lówó. Mélòó ló fún wọn lówó náà? Èèyàn mélòó ló rí owó náà gbà? Kàkà tó bá máa wá jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀, tó bá máa jẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ lọ sí secondary school, ó parí secondary school, ó ti lè kà, ó ti lè kọ, àwọn nǹkan kan ti yé, kò sí nǹkan kan tó fẹ́ fi rẹ jẹ tó bá jáde, tó bá bá àwọn tó fẹ́ lọ bá ṣe business, tó bá jọ wà níbi tó ti fẹ́ ṣe business, wọn ò ní fi 2,000 kan kó 2,000 lé lọ́wọ́, kan ní 200,000 làwọn kó lé lọ́wọ́. bóyá yẹn ń sì láwọn àwọn èèyàn máa ronú láti padà sí because ẹ jẹ́ ká wò ó báyìí ìgbà tán bá láwọn fẹ́ lọ fún course 4 years wọ́n fẹ́ lọ at the end of the day wọ́n máa lọ ṣe 6 years ńbẹ̀ 6 years tán fẹ́ lọ ṣe yẹn lòmíì lè ṣe 7 years and number 2 ti lélẹ̀ o lè pass kó jẹ́ wípé ó fẹ́ lọ ṣe nurse wọ́n máa wá gbé lọ sí ẹni tó fẹ́ lọ ṣe agriculture wọ́n máa gbé ẹni tó fẹ́ ṣe agriculture tí yẹn bá ti fún wọn ló wá gbé lọ fẹ́ni tó fẹ́ lọ ṣe nurse nàìjíríà náà ni gbogbo ẹ̀ wà at the end of the day ẹni tó bá wá jáde yẹn kò wá ní ríṣẹ́ ṣe iṣẹ́ yẹn gan máa sú ọ̀ tó bá wá ríṣẹ́ yẹn ṣe iṣẹ́ mọ̀kùmọ̀kù rádaràda ló máa ṣe ń bẹ̀ torí number 1 kò mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ number 2 kò ń ṣe ẹni tó kò ń ṣe nǹkan tó wùn láti ṣe ẹ wá wo díndí bíi 7 years tó waste nínú life ẹ̀ yẹn tó bá tún wá kúrò ń bẹ̀ àìfẹ́ tó wá lóun fẹ́ lọ kọ́ṣẹ́ ṣé nǹkan tí Dr. Olumide ń sọ yìí ó make sense tàbí kò make sense ṣé good advice ni tàbí kò ń ṣe good advice because níbi tí ọ̀rọ̀ ń lọ yìí a ní ìdá ti pariwo mọ́ àìmára àpò ráìsì ní 70,000 bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed náà ti sọ pé ó máa rí bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ̀ ṣé tó bá wá tàtúnṣe bá tiẹ̀ wà tán bá padà wá ta àpò ráìsì lẹ́yìn 2 years 3 years tán bá lò ń bẹ̀ tán bá padà ta àpò ráìsì ní 10,000 naira tí bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu bá lọ èèlò rẹ tó fẹ́ máa ra ráìsì wípé ká dúró tí dìgbà yẹn àní òyìnbó ń ṣiṣẹ́ lẹ̀ fún ìran ẹ̀ èyí táwa jẹ lọ́wọ́ tá à ń jẹ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ kọ́lọ́n ṣàjẹ́ kí mi rí tèmi ṣe òun nìkan làwa wà kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ kí n rí tèmi ṣe o ọmọ ẹ̀ bá má rí tiẹ̀ ṣe ń bẹ̀ ó pè ọmọ ni ìyàwó ẹ̀ bá má rí tiẹ̀ ṣe ń bẹ̀ ó pè ìyàwó ni ọkọ ẹ̀ bá má rí tiẹ̀ ṣe ń bẹ̀ ó pè ọkọ ni ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí tèmi rí ṣe kémi rí tèmi ṣe nìkan òun ló kù nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tiwa ìyẹn ló fi jẹ́ wípé ọlọ́run tó dá wa ọlọ́run nìkan ló mọ̀ ọlọ́run nìkan lọ̀rọ̀ wáyé torí òyìnbó àwọn gbọ́n débi wípé sẹ́ẹ̀ àníran tí ò tí ì dé torí nǹkan táwọn fẹ́ ṣe ní in the next 50 years wọ́n ti ní plan ẹ̀ lẹ̀ wọ́n ti ya gbogbo plan yẹn sílẹ̀ báyìí bọ̀ àwa nǹkan kọ́lọ̀ ṣàjẹ́ kémi rí tèmi ṣe ń bẹ̀ òun ni bọ́dà mi àti sísà mi nǹkan táwa náà lè fi ní ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ táwa náà lè fi ní future fún àwọn ọmọ tiwa òun ni eléyìí ká jáwọ́ lápọ̀n tí ó yọ ká lọ gbómi lákaná tá a bá rí wípé ọ̀rọ̀ secondary school nìkan lọ̀rọ̀ gbà báyìí sìn kókó wá jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ secondary school wá ti kúrò ní secondary school because tó bá tún wá jáde 7 years náà ẹni tí ò bá wá lọ kọ́ṣẹ́ gan kò tún ní wá ríṣẹ́ tí èèyàn bíi wọn kásà ní 10,000 tó bá jáde nínú ọdún kan bóyá ni èèyàn 10,000 báwo ẹ̀yà akàngé bẹ́ẹ̀ pé èèyàn 10,000 ló jáde nínú ọdún yìí ní Nàìjíríà nínú ọdún yẹn tí èèyàn 3,000 tán bá ríṣẹ́ ní lọ́ọ̀kì ni àwọn 7,000 tó kù ńkọ́ ṣé tó bá kúkú wá mọ̀ ń gbà yẹn ìgbà tó ti jáde ní secondary school kó kún lọ kọ́ṣẹ́ but the problem tó tún wá wà ń bẹ̀ ni wípé ìgbà tó ti wá jẹ́ pé ọmọ college ọmọ university gan kò lè spell wọ́n bá ní kó spell chair lásán gan á máa gbé wọn fúnra wọn ni bọ́n ní kó spell nàìjíríà fúnra rẹ̀ gan bọ́n ní kó wá ka national anthem wọn gan wàhálà ní gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ó yẹ wá sọ fún mi irú yẹn náà tó bá wá jáde ilé iṣẹ́ wo ló fẹ́ gbà pẹ̀lú interview tí ò bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n lo ẹsẹ̀ wọ́n lo ìdí wọ́n lo gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́n ṣàrùn wọn mọ́bẹ̀ wípé òkè wọ́n dẹ̀ máa wá papà gbogbo school tó wá lọ fún 7 years yẹn gan òtún ní wà lò because by the time tó bá dé bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n kàn máa sọ fún ẹ pé òkè báyìí lọ́n ṣe ń ṣe fáìlì eléyìí ẹ̀ẹ̀kan ṣe fáìlì eléyìí nǹkan báyìí ló máa kọ nǹkan báyìí ló máa kọ wọ́n ṣáà máa support ẹ̀ through ẹni tó gbà wá síbẹ̀ ó ti tán òun ti ríṣẹ́ nìyẹn ó ti ń lo táì nìyẹn ẹ wo life ẹ wo orú life ẹ wá wo China ìtayín lásán wọ́n máa kó wá made in China àwọn fáànù kéékèèké yẹn wọ́n máa kó wá made in China gbogbo àwọn problem wa tó yẹ káwa lè máa face bá ṣe wá pọ̀ tó àwọn China náà lọ wá sọ̀tẹ̀ fún wa wá kó wá fi máa gbowó lọ́wọ́ wa ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀síwájú ká gbọ́ nǹkan tí Dr. Olumide tán sọ síwájú sí ká tó mú ètò wa sópin.
It's easy I'm still going through it in different areas of my life. I still have to sit down with my wife and children. Yeah, I still have to sit down with my family. I still have to sit down with my family and say, look, this is not going to work. We're not going to do this. Why are we doing this? I still do that till date. And it's just the reality. So number one, if things are ideal, and we don't live in an ideal world, if things are ideal, when children are born into a family, they're supposed to have understood themselves and they understand parenting. Unfortunately, children are giving birth to children.
Yes.
So dysfunctional people are marrying each other, raising children in dysfunctional environments where it's a generation of dysfunctional people. Exactly. The parents themselves don't even know better. They are confused. They don't understand. So if it was an ideal situation, we would have known that this child that is being given to me, I have been given the custody. It's not my child. I've been given the custody of this child for 18 years. And the person that gave me this child has a template for this child before the child was sent to me. So I'm supposed to go back to the creator, say, this child you gave to me, what is the template? What's the purpose for this child? And then I'm supposed to be sensitive and observant to identify the traits in this child, because you can't raise every child the same way. So that I can now channel that child in that direction and help that child to discover himself or herself. So that by the time the child is 18, the person is a full-blown adult that can move on his or her own. But because we don't have that system, and many families are dysfunctional, we are still raising people at 25, at 30, 28. People are still in their parents' house asking for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stay in one room without paying, and they say it's my parents. And we don't know that. When you look at the Western world, by 18, they send you out. You are done. Because anything that, yes, you start paying anything after 18 is a report card. You have only 18 years.
16.
Yeah. So, but because we don't have that, at 23, we are still following them to interview. At 25, we are still trying to, and that is why we are raising children. Look at marriages today. A lot of men are children. A lot of women are children. It's because they have been mummified all their life. They have not been allowed to face the reality of life. So it's a continuous cycle. Yeah, so
how do we step away from that?
So it's for all of us that are listening to me right now to begin to realize that, number one, we can do things differently. Go back, identify the things you are doing wrong, identify the areas of deficiency, and come together as a family to make a commitment to say, this and this and these are things that will begin to change. E.g., food. In my family now, for many years, 3 square meal has never been part of. My son, even my 10-year plus, the last baby of the house, cannot come and say that, where's my lunch? He can't say that. From 6 years old, he can't say that. He only comes, I'm hungry. When you are hungry, you come for food, we give you food. If you are not hungry, no food. Sometimes he will not eat till 2. You will say, I have breakfast. I say, no, I'm okay, I'm not hungry. I'm like, wow. It works. So it's a process you have to go on little by little, by little.
My children are hungry 5 times a day.
No, if they are hungry 5 times a day, you give them food 5 times a day. Because you don't raise them with poverty mentality. But let them understand that food is when I'm hungry. Not that I must eat because there is a timetable that somebody has set for me. Is that so? We are not talking of poverty mentality here. Do you understand? We are talking of helping them to understand that when it's time for them to be able, because there are businesses you will do where you will be on your feet for 10 hours. It's not food you are thinking of. If you don't raise them like that, they won't be able to survive in that atmosphere. Where they will need to now be disciplined. I have
someone that you
say, somebody can now use food to discipline them. Somebody can use food to do all kinds of things to them because they are now hungry. So those are the things that, so we need to learn what are the things we have done wrong. And then number 2, we need to begin to make changes where necessary. And I say marriage is one of the most blessed experience and one of the most cost experience of life. If you marry the wrong person, it can be all this we're saying now. If your partner does not support, it can be trouble. I've just dealt with a case this week of a man crying. He said, what do I do? These children are still children. I'm telling them that by 9 they should be at home. They are telling me that, what do you mean by 9? That's when the party will start. And that they will be back by 11, 12. And my wife said, leave them alone. So that's why the problem. I said, my brother, I can't help you. As long as your wife and you are not on the same page, it's not children issue we should be talking. We should be discussing value system between 2 of you.
It's marriage that you need to fix.
And they are girls. So girls plus girl, 3 against 1. You are going to lose the battle. So just receive grace. So those are the things you need to begin to do. Identify the problems, identify the gaps, and then make a commitment to begin to do it. And when you fail, don't be discouraged. Put a support system around you to help you to say, okay, we said we are going to do, why are we not doing this? It's the same thing with savings. It's the same thing with a lot of other aspects of our lives. So what I will say to people is reduce expenditure. That's what I've dealt with now, which is, let's look at the hard facts. Housing, education, there are many things to reduce expenditure. Then the next thing to do is now to increase your income. So you now see now, that one is not easy to do if you don't have value, if you don't have skill, if you don't have knowledge.
So sometimes you might first have to find the gap.
Yes. As I'm sitting here right now, As far back as 2001, I already had a folder, and I renewed that folder maybe every 2 years as I was growing up on things to reduce. So if for any reason I have need to reduce anything now, I don't need, I'll just go, yeah, this one goes, because I know every money I spend every month in the family, I know that, okay, what am I doing with cable? Well, cable gone. You don't need to be paying any money for any cable station or subscription every month when I can use the internet to still do the same thing. Do you understand? Because you are paying for my internet data, you are paying for cable. The things you are watching on cable, you can now watch. So all those things you notice, okay, we put on diesel generator from this point, okay, no more 8 hours, now 6 hours. You have those. There was a point in my life, in our family, we buy bottled water. For 2 years, we didn't do that. At a point years ago. Why? Because I said, yeah, no more. But because we knew how much was coming to the soul. Everybody should sit down and face reality. Now, think about it. If all of you came here now with low cuts and pattern, will it kill you? You will still look beautiful.
But all no, don't mind, it's them, not me.
Yeah, no, of course. But all these air you people are buying, now you are telling me you will still going to buy shoes. I love shoes. It's what is putting people in trouble. You have 2 legs, you want to buy shoes.
This week is like 500,000.
Does not spend on hair.
Yeah. She spends on shoes.
She spends on shoes
so,
and
you love shoes. If you love shoes, design shoes, manufacture shoes, sell
I like
shoes.
that, yeah.
Then begin to make money for so that the shoe you are wearing is from the profit of the profit, the grandchild of the money. You can now wear any shoe you want to wear. Not that they add in money. You go and use to wear shoe, buy shoe that all of you sitting here now. Nobody has ever seen your shoe.
We have
since you have been on this, but nobody
they can
except the day that you mention where guys they will now show it. So you are just fooling yourself.
We have just about 3 more minutes, and we need to make money.
People are busy with their life. You are talking
shit. Yes, we need to make money because some people there's no reduction. They have reduced.
No, mo kí gbogbo wa nílé lóko lẹ́yìn odi. Ṣé ẹ gbádùn nǹkan tí Dr. Lumide tí wọ́n gbé yẹ̀wò? Àgbéyẹ̀wò tí a ṣe lórí lecture tí Dr. Lumide tán sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Tá bá tún ní ká lọ wo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn obìnrin. Ẹ wo àwọn wig tí wọ́n ra mẹ́nubà yẹn. Ìgbà téèyàn kan bá ra wig tó bá gbé sórí ní 500,000. 500,000. Àwọn òyìnbó gan ọ̀nàwó nínàgbà wà dúdú. Àwa náà dẹ̀ la máa ń pariwo wípé nǹkan ò dáa, nǹkan ò ṣe kinní kan, you know. But nǹkan tí ọwọ́ wa ò tó, a ṣáà máa ń fà á ni. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi fílẹ̀ nínú comment. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Ta la ṣẹ̀? Ta ló ṣẹ̀ wá? Báwo lọ̀rọ̀ wa? Báwo ló ṣe rí báyìí? A ní ìtẹ́lọ́rùn. Gbogbo wíìgì tó ń sọ òyìnbó tó ń lo wig. Bóyá ká ní bóyá 2% or 3%. Òyìnbó ń lo wig. Bó òyìnbó tó ń lo wig, bóyá ká sọ wípé 2-3%. Ṣé rí pé hàn bí ìgbà tán lò rárá nìyẹn. But àwa la máa lọ ra just ordinary polo. Bóyá tán bá kọ Versace sí lára. Kí ló kan òyìnbó? Tó bá wọnú ilé òyìnbó mi, gbogbo aṣọ tó wà nínú wardrobe ẹ̀ ó lè má pé 5. Ó dẹ̀ ń ṣiṣẹ́. Most of them kò wá ń ṣe ẹlòmíì ò bímọ nínú wọn. But wọ́n ní àgbọ́yé wípé kí la mú wá, kí la fẹ́ mú padà lọ. Aláwa tá a lẹ́sìn sẹ́ta tá a máa ń prove ipa lẹ́sìn. Òyìnbó ó ti lẹ́sìn rí wọn ò ní ẹ̀sìn mọ́. Bọ́ ọpọlọ wọn pé ọmọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe. Torí nǹkan tó ń ṣe yẹn tó bá jẹ́ dúdú ni ó lè wí pé báwo ló ṣe máa ń sọ olówó ló máa kúre ó mú nǹkan ó máa ń ní àwọn èdè kan tá a máa ń pè ṣá tá a fi máa ń sọ bí ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé ayé ni máa jẹ kí n tó yá something like ayé ni máa jẹ kí n tó jọ̀run kéèyàn tó lọ sọ́run ṣòwò bóyá ń jayé lọ́run ni kinní kan ó gború nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ẹlòmíì ó máa kàn bá tó jẹ́ wípé ẹja tútù tòun tó máa ní kán gbé sí wa yes ó lè ṣẹlẹ̀ once in a while mọ̀ kò wá ń ṣe pé tèmi mo lówó mi àwọn èèyàn bíi 20 ti wà ń bí ẹ sáàbù wọn round ẹ ṣe kinní kan níbi tó jẹ́ pé nínú àwọn fámìlì ẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan ibi ń pa wọ́n àwọn tó wà ní motherland home gan àwọn náà wà ń bẹ tí yà ń jẹ wọ́n tó jẹ́ pé ò lè dá sí wọn ìyẹn ló fi fà wípé ojú máa ń gbà mí tì ni tó bá ń gbọ́ news báyìí tó bá ń gbọ́ news tó bá wà pẹ̀lú àwọn òyìnbó tó bá ń gbọ́ news tó wá máa ṣèpolówó báyìí ìpolówó àwọn tó jẹ́ pé ṣinṣin ó ń kùn wọ́n lójú ó ń kùn wọ́n nímú ó ń kùn wọ́n ní gbogbo orí láti áfíríkà ni gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo ẹnu wọn ó wá ọmọ kékeré ẹnu papò wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe operation eyín fún nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn àwọn tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ omi fà ọ̀ bóyá omi lómi ládùúgbò níbi tí wọ́n ti fẹ́ lọ fa mímá tó bí 1 hour àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké náà fẹ́ lọ máa pọn omi yẹn wá fún wọn gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó máa ń ṣò nìyẹn táwọn máa sọ pé òkè àwọn ń rè sínsìn láti lọ máa ṣe láti máa ṣètọrẹ àánú fún wọn láwọn African country tí irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. That means to say ìwọ tó lọ ra wig ẹlòmíì nínú wig tá à ń sọ yẹn ẹlòmíì ní wig 6 8 nínú ilé àmọ́ wá ń ṣe competition sẹ́yìn ni èmi ò mọ orúkọ ẹ̀ náà mi ò lè parọ́ fún yín. kò dẹ́ ṣe kó bóyá torí pé mi ò mọ̀ tàbí kò ń ṣe kinní mi gbogbo oníkálukú ló níbi tiẹ̀ oníkálukú ló níbi tó máa náwó ẹ̀ sí mi ò sọ̀rọ̀ sẹ́ni tó ní because òun ló lówó ẹ̀ bọ̀ inú ọ̀rọ̀ náà la máa ti wo inú ọ̀rọ̀ èèyàn lè ní bọ̀ kéèyàn má waste owó ibi tí mo ti ń bọ̀ nìyẹn ṣẹ̀dẹ̀ rí àwa tá à ń pè láfíríkà especially àwa Yorùbá yìí a máa ń waste owó gan gbogbo nǹkan tí ò kàn wá àwa náà dé la máa ń complain jù a máa pe ibi mọ́nú láti fi ṣe patí ni a máa pa ibi mọ́nú láti fi ná millions láti fi ṣe tòkú a ní pe ibi mọ́nú láti fi tọ́jú ẹni tó kú yẹn o bọ̀ tí onítọ̀hún yẹn bá kú a máa make sure wípé a pa ibi mọ́nú láti ìgbà wo la fẹ́ so many people ló máa ń sọ ìgbà wo la fẹ́ fa owó ẹ̀ sẹ́yìn ìgbà wo la fẹ́ mú ọwọ́ ẹ̀ wálẹ̀ ìgbà wo la tiẹ̀ fẹ́ stop ẹ̀ gangan ká fèsì reality tipátipá òun wá ṣe tán bá ti ṣe tòkó ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ tàbí nǹkan kan wọ́n ti ṣe sàárà wọ́n ti ṣe normal kínní òun ṣe gbogbo yẹn nílùú káàtì ẹ̀ wá ní culture ní okay good fine. mo meet lady kan just ọ̀rọ̀ àná ni mò ń sọ yìí lady yẹn ń sọ pé bàbá òun kú ní Nàìjíríà ó ní wọ́n ti ọmọ ṣáìdì bóyá ó ní bóyá bíi Anambra tàbí nǹkan kan ló pe ṣáìdì ọ̀dọ̀ ti ìṣá ó lọ ní bàbá òun kú ó dẹ̀ ti fẹ́ òyìnbó ó ti bímọ 3 fóyìnbó bóyá ní láti 2018 lòun ti lọ sílé last ókè bàbá ẹ̀ wá kú ń sìn ó lọ ní wọ́n máa gbọ́únjẹ láti ọjọ́ yẹn wọ́n máa fi 5 days láti gbọ́únjẹ wọ́n ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa wá ṣe pátí ara wa nǹkan pé irú owó wo náà ń waste pọ́nkàn ń waste owó ṣé mo pé because ó ti kúrò nílé tipẹ́ tó bá jẹ́ pélé náà lájọ bàbá ẹ̀ máa ṣe nìyẹn ara tí wọ́n ń kàn ń sìn pé irú owó náà ń waste pé wọ́n fẹ́ máa waste owó mọ́àníà wípé ṣèbí tó bá tiẹ̀ jó ní 3 days náà ìṣe ó dáa ó wà òkè káṣẹ̀ ní òkè culture la fẹ́ parẹ́ tàbí pé wọ́n fẹ́ dáná fáwọn ọ̀rẹ́ whatever ní àdúgbò gbogbo orú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn good fine tó bá lè stop ẹ̀ ń bẹ́ ó tún máa wá da bọ́n máa wá gbé wípé òkè wọ́n lọ embalm lẹ́yìn ìgbà tán lọ embalm wọ́n ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa tún wá gbé jáde àìṣẹ̀ máa ná owó tó lè jẹ́ wípé ìdajì millions tí a ná yẹn ká fẹ́ fi ṣe tòkú yẹn tó bá jẹ́ wípé nígbà tó nítọ̀hún yẹn tó sick la mú owó yẹn la ná lé lórí ó possible kó èlò bóyá ọdún 2 3 sí nínú pẹ̀lú wa kó tó di pé nǹkan yẹn lò especially condition tó wà ní Nàìjíríà ń sìn tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn òyìnbó tá à ń kọ́pì àwọn ò kì í ṣe. mo ti sọ̀rọ̀ kan lórí program mi rí bóyá ó ti máa pẹ́ sẹ́yìn díẹ̀ báyìí mo lọ síbi funeral kan bóyá ó máa ti jẹ́ bóyá bíi 2013 or 2012 something like that káṣá ní 2012 tí ó bá jẹ́ 2011 ó máa jẹ́ 2012 ẹni tí mo bá lọ sí funeral tí mo lọ yìí ìyá ẹ̀ ló kú bọ̀ ẹni tó jẹ́ òyìnbó ni Island ni story ló ti ṣẹlẹ̀ àwa lọ síbẹ̀ ìgbà tá a débẹ̀ mo kàn rí pé mo fẹ́ lè ní ó dà pé èmi nìkan ni dúdú èmi nìkan ni dúdú. onítọ̀hún yẹn ni ẹni tó lówó ni ó ní private company tó pọ̀ dáadáa. now kí ni mo wá fẹ́ lò ń bẹ̀ ni pé ṣe mọ̀ wípé àwọn èèyàn tó bá fẹ́ rí ní ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn tó bá sọ pé olówó yẹn wàá ti mọ̀ wípé but lílọ tí èèyàn ń lọ wàá ti wò wípé kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ yẹn because mo ti lọ rí but ti dúdú ẹgbẹ́ mi ni mo máa ń lọ that is the first time tí máa lọ sí pé bóyá mo bá ti òyìnbó lọ ẹni tí ìyá ẹ̀ kú yẹn dẹ̀ ni mo mọ̀ rí òun ló invite mi. ìgbà tí màá dé hall yẹn wọ́n kàn ṣe prayer sáré òkú àwọn pásítọ̀ wá bẹ̀ àwọn rẹ́fúrẹ́ ẹ ṣáà ti mọ̀ wọ́n ṣáà ṣe nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe at the end of the day èmi rẹ̀ kó bóyá tí wọ́n lọ sínú hall kan ká jókòó ká ṣe nǹkan kan ibi tá a kan tún lọ ní the next hall tá a tún máa wọ̀ báyìí ẹni tí mò ń sọ yìí ló níbẹ̀ òun ló ní gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n lò yẹn náà but nínú villa ní ilé ẹni tó lọ ní gbogbo everything tó wà lọ́rọ̀ kan ṣábáyé akọ̀dúró ni o mo fi ọlọ́run búra hàn ya fọ́tò hàn fídíò akọ̀dúró ni wọ́n dẹ̀ ti set gbogbo ẹ̀ báyìí sandwich tea cup of coffee biscuit cake náà ti rọra gé ló bá tán sweet ló bá tán wọ́n dẹ̀ ti sọ fún wa pé ẹ má ra flower wá ẹ nídìí flower ẹ má fi flower ẹ má fi wá dá pàǹtí lẹ̀ ń bí báyìí all the time oh my day mò ń wò báyìí ni oh my god tí mo fi kúrò ń bẹ̀ tí mo fi padà lọ sínú mọ́tò mi báyìí pé mo kàn ń imagine pé oh my god ṣé mo rí pé wọn náà ó ti dira ó ti bọ ó kàn ṣọ́ọ̀kì ló jẹ́ fún èèyàn wípé a ní kò sí mi ò ní lọ́wọ́ wípé òkè fọ́tò tí mo yà ń bẹ̀ lélẹ̀ mi ò ní lọ́wọ́ wípé fọ́tò tí mo bó ní nǹkan yà lélẹ̀ mi ò ní fídíò ó kò tiẹ̀ sí ni ṣébi táwọn ti ya fọ́tò tán gbé nǹkan kan bọ́ta ni wọ́n fẹ́ bá a sọ pé wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe ló bá tán wọ́n dẹ̀ ẹni tó fẹ́ tẹ̀lé wọn lọ síbi tán fẹ́ ṣe kinní tán fẹ́ lọ gbé òkú sínú kòtò ló bá tán ó dọjọ́ kejì iṣẹ́ ti ń lọ bọ́dà mi àti sísà mi bọ́ àwa ó le fún wa láti kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ lára irú àwọn nǹkan yẹn ní ká má ṣe tradition something whatever nǹkan kan tá fẹ́ ṣe but ọ̀nà tí àwa gan ta fi máa ń gbà waste owó títóbi fọ́lọ́run Ọlọ́run ò gbọ́dọ̀ bínú sí wa àwa tí à ń lọgun nìyẹn àwa tá sọ pé ọ̀tá wa wà nínú ìnira nìyẹn bọ̀ nípa ọ̀nà kejì tá fi máa ń waste owó ẹlòmíín wà láàrin oṣù kan ó ń raṣọ mẹ́ta á ní kò pọ̀ 2000 ni 2000 yẹn tó bá máa mú bí láàrin ọdún kan tó bá ń dájọ́ 2000 ọ kò fi 8000 kún kó máa dájọ́ 10000 ní oṣooṣù tó bá máa di ọdún kan lóye tó máa gbà bí ò bá tiẹ̀ pọ̀ kó kàn tiẹ̀ máa gbàgbé ẹ̀ kó máa dijú ẹ̀ bí ìgbà tó dá nǹkan kan bọ̀ gbogbo yẹn ó ti jẹ́ short kí ni wá pọ̀ gan iṣu wá pọ̀ gan àfi kọ́lọ́run kò ṣe dáadáa fún wa bọ́dà mi àti sísà mi àfi àwọn tí wọ́n lọ kóra wọn sọ́wọ́ bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu àyàfi kẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa ronú báwo la ṣe lè jọ ṣe àjọṣepọ̀ àgbọ́ra ẹni yé àti ilé understand ibo la dúró sí ṣàfẹ́fà wàrà wa lọ sóko ẹrú ni yàtọ̀ sí àwọn kan tó jẹ́ wípé irọ́ ló ń mú wá fún wa yàtọ̀ sí àwọn kan tó jẹ́ wípé nǹkan tí ò ṣẹlẹ̀ ló ń sọ pé ó ṣẹlẹ̀ a ti ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ lẹ́nu ijọ́ mẹ́ta yìí ẹ̀hún láwọn kan ilé agbára wọ́n ń pààyàn ni wọ́n ń ṣe kinní kan ni Babáńjí Akíntóyè wọ́n ń mórúkọ àwọn èèyàn lọ síbì kan ni wọ́n ń pa ẹran wáì tẹ́ ń parọ́ mọ́rọ́ wáì tá tún ń parọ́ mọ́rọ́ kò sẹ́ni tó dì yín lọ́wọ́ mú ẹni bàbá ṣe Sunday Igboho àwọn ni òun ni ò jẹ́ kán rọ́kúpá ìyẹn ṣe wọ́n ní èèyàn kan wà tó ń jàkálẹ̀ àbáyá jàkálẹ̀ àrùn tàbí nǹkan kan ẹ wo ibi tá a tún já sí ẹ̀yin tẹ promise wa ta dúró lórí promise yẹn tẹ ní ẹ ti gbà á wọ́n ti fún yín níwèé wọ́n ti ní kẹ́ máa lọ mímí ó lé mì ojú gbogbo ayé lẹ ṣe sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ àgbọ̀ lẹ́nu yín ó tún ṣe jẹ́ ṣe Sunday Igboho ló tún wá ń dèèyàn kan lọ́wọ́ mú nísìnyí ṣe Sunday Igboho tún máa ṣe ní káwọn ilé agbára kan tún lọ máa pààyàn torí kí ni bàbá Akíntóyè tún ṣe lọ fẹ́ lọ máa rí ẹran mọ́lẹ̀ torí tiyín ẹ̀yin tẹ́lẹ̀ ti gbà á tèmi dẹ̀ ti sọ fún àwọn tó bá létí ìgbọ́ wípé àlówó tó gbé sílẹ̀ sẹ́ ẹ̀yin kan sẹ́ tẹ́ bá talé ẹ̀ tún ta mọ́tò tó bá yàgùn ẹ̀ fẹ́ lọ tara yín torí ẹni tá à ń sọ yìí ó fẹ́ fi yín sí ìsọ́mì ni ó fẹ́ fi sọ wípé níbi lẹ máa kú sí níbi lẹ máa gbé ló fẹ́ ṣe fún yín torówó yẹn lẹ máa wá tọmọ ọmọ yín máa fi dàgbà bá yín bẹ ọmọ ọmọ yín máa ga tó yín máa ní ọmọdé àná ọmọdé ọjọ́ òun máa ń dàgbà ré o orí jẹ́ òpẹ́ láyé yá ẹ bá mi kọrin yẹn yín tẹ́ bá wọn òun nǹkan tó ń ṣe nìyẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe ṣe ti 5 million nígbà tó gbà lọ́wọ́ wa ó kọ́kọ́ sá lọ bí oṣù kan ìgbà tó máa padà dé ó mú story dé ni ìgbà tán kó àwọn ọmọ ní radio station ìgbà tó máa padà dé ló mú $1 million wá òye yín sìn toró mọ̀ wípé bó ṣe sọ wípé òun ò mọ̀ wípé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wọ́n lè tètè ṣiṣẹ́ lórí 5 million yẹn ìgbà tó tún yá ó lóun fi 5 million ó lóun fi try wọn ni òun fẹ́ ó mọ̀ ẹ ṣiṣẹ́ sí irú 1 million yìí náà ó mọ̀ wípé òun máa gbá yín síbí máa gbá yín sọ mo rí fídíò kan lẹ́nu jẹ́ mẹ́ta pé àjọ máa lọ ní Nàìjíríà yẹn a máa jọ lọ ẹni tó ń gbé ní Nàìjíríà ń bẹ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tó wà ní Nàìjíríà tó wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó wá sẹ́ pé a máa jọ lọ pàdé lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ni a máa jọ lọ short ó ṣe ní láàánú ó ṣe ní láàánú fáwọn kan ṣá tán ìwà lórí gbogbo àbàṣà pátápàṣà yánmayànmá yẹn ó ṣe ní láàánú gan ṣe ní láàánú but ẹ má wọ́ọ̀rì ẹ̀yin máa talé ẹ ta mọ́tò property tẹ bá tún ní Nàìjíríà gan ó máa ní kẹ́ lọ lù ń gbàǹjo ẹ máa kówó yẹn sórí ẹ dẹ̀ máa rí wípé at the end of the day bó ṣe ń lulẹ̀ tó ló parọ́ fún wa ó parọ́ fẹ́lẹ́dà wa ó tàn wá nǹkan tí ò lè ṣe kó kàn tiẹ̀ ní tí ò tiẹ̀ lè súnmọ́ bèbè ẹ̀ ó lóun máa ṣe fún wa kò sí ni àyàfi àdàbí tó bá wa sòótọ́ wáì tó bá gbà kí iṣẹ́ ìnira wa ní náà ìrọ̀rùn wà ní náà kò dẹ̀ lè ní ká má délé Yorùbá irọ́ ni bọ̀ nǹkan tó mọ̀ wípé ò lè ṣe tó dẹ̀ ń parọ́ fún ìran ẹ̀ tó dẹ̀ ń dun ẹnu fún ìran ẹ̀ tó dẹ̀ fi wá ń ba nǹkan jẹ́ nǹkan tó yẹ kó ya jẹ́ bí ọdún kan ó wá ń sọ di ọdún méjì ó ń sọ di ọdún méjì àbọ̀ ó dẹ̀ wá wà lórí ẹ̀ náà tó sì dúró lórí irọ́ tó ń pa fáwọn èèyàn kan tún wá wà lẹ́yìn ẹ wá lọ ń sọ pé bàbá fẹ́ pa yín bàbá ní káwọn ilé agbára kan ó mọ àwọn tó wà nílé agbára ṣáwọn ráyè tiyín àwọn tó ń náwó tó ń nọ́ra tó ń ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó yẹ kó ń ṣe fún ìran wọn fún ara wọn kọ́ torí 80% àwọn tó wà ń bẹ àwọn tó onílé ọlọ́nà àwọn tó dúró láyé ara wọn ni tó ń náwó sí ìran wọn ni kò ń ṣe wọn wá ní ó ṣàkóso epo oríṣiríṣi kalẹ̀ lórí ìrìn àjò yìí tó bá yí ò bá rí yín ọba ọ̀run wò yín kò yẹ sí nǹkan tó dálá tó lòkè ilẹ̀ ló ń bọ̀ gbogbo èyí tẹ́ sọ lọ́jọ́ kìíní àná ẹ máa occupy ẹ máa reclaim ẹ máa ṣe kinní kan gbogbo ìgbà tí gbogbo ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé lórí irọ́ ni tẹ́ ẹ̀ gbá lọ́nà òtítọ́ tẹ́ ẹ̀ darapọ̀ kájọ pawọ́pọ̀ kan kọ́ ẹjọ́ ṣe nígbà yẹn kò ń ṣe ń sìn yín o torí kò sí àjọṣe kankan tó lè wà mọ́ bìkọ́ báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ rí wípé ẹni yìí àdá ìbọn ọkọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ ló mú sọ́wọ́ báwo ló fẹ́ bá ṣe òun lẹ́ni yìí náà bàbá Akíntóyè bàbá arúgbó yẹn tó bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ ṣe Sunday Igboho ni bàbá arúgbó yẹn kẹ́ ì máa ṣépè fún lónítọ̀hún yẹn ń jẹ́ àjà ọ̀dọ̀ orúkọ tó ṣe kinní níná ẹ̀rí pé orúkọ yẹn fìtì irú nǹkan tó nítọ̀hún yẹn ṣe àdàlùkáyé ayé àjàkárílẹ̀ ayé ní sọ́ọ̀nìmù tó ń jẹ́ nǹkan tó wá ń ṣe òun gangan ọgọ́ náà nìyẹn wá ń ṣépè fún bàbá ọ̀gá ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ òun gangan fúnra rẹ̀ òun náà ti ṣépè àwọn dúdú àwọn pòfẹ́sọ̀ kìnnìkan ìwọ náà tún wá bọ́ síta náà ó wá láwọn náà dì yín lọ́wọ́ mú ó tìyàn lójú gan ni o kí ẹ̀yin lè sọ wípé àwọn èèyàn kan di ẹ̀yin lọ́wọ́ mú mi ò mọ̀ pé máa sọ̀rọ̀ débẹ̀ lálẹ́ ní ìbá play fídíò onítọ̀hún yẹn fún yín kẹ́ gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ pé wọ́n ní bàbá fẹ́ di wípé bàbá Akíntóyè àti Sunday Igboho ló di ẹ̀yin lọ́wọ́ mú níbi tẹ́ ti sọ wípé àwa ò ní nǹkan kan àmọ̀yàn àṣe nǹkan kan kọ́ béèrè nǹkan tán ṣe èèyàn kan wá lè lójú láyà kó wá di ẹ̀yin lọ́wọ́ mú ó ṣọ̀kì mi o agbá òfìfo ni yín ẹ̀kan ń halẹ̀ ẹ̀kan ń pariwo mo kó tó di wípé irú ọ́díò yìí jáde mo ti sọ àlọ́ mo tẹ́ ẹ bí máa bá yín níbi tẹ́ ẹ ti ń dáwó sẹ́ẹ̀ by the time tó bá kù díẹ̀ kẹ́ẹ́dá tán báyìí á tún gbé nǹkan míì dé ni bó ṣe máa wà nìyẹn bọ́ gbogbo wàhálà tó kàn ń dálẹ̀ yẹn náà òun kan náà ni a kàn ní ká fi yín sílẹ̀ ká mú yín sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan ká ṣàkàn máa wò ó tún jáde ló tún gbé bàbá ṣépè ló tún láwọn ilé agbára o àwọn ilé agbára o àwọn ló ń pààyàn o àwọn ló ń pààyàn èèyàn mélòó náà ti pa ṣeré ayélujára especially most people tó ń gbójú jáde ẹlòmíì gan tí ò gbójú jáde tẹ́ bá rí ẹ worú the other guy tán ní babaláwo tàbí nǹkan kan tán mú bíi 2 months ago tán tán nékèdè tán ná ní ọ̀nà Kútọ̀nù ẹ̀mí ti gbàgbé orúkọ tó lóun jẹ ìyẹn náà ló tún lọ parapọ̀ mọ́ wọn tó Ọlọ́run ló lọ́ọ́ tiẹ̀ gbójú ẹ̀ jáde ẹ wo ẹni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tó ń bú Ìgbòho tó ń bú bàbá ṣe rí fídíò ẹ̀ ṣá ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá rí fídíò ẹ bá mi fílẹ̀ nínú comment section irú yẹn ló lọ darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn tán Ọlọ́run ló lọ́ọ́ rí èèyàn rí fídíò ẹ̀ ń kàn wọ́n oh my day oh wow irú ẹni yìí ní ìwọ yìí ẹ wo bó ṣe rí ìwọ yìí ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ ló ń ṣépè fún pòfẹ́sọ̀ lo ìwọ oh my god o bójú gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ́nà wọ́n tún gbà wọ́n tún rọra gbà fọ́lọ́ wọ́n tún wò ẹ̀yin kan tún bọ́ta ẹ̀ ló ń pa wọ́n ẹ̀jẹ̀ ní kó bọ́ síta ẹni tó ń pa kán gbókù ẹ̀ bọ́ta ẹni tó pa wọ́n kán ṣe investigation ẹ ṣàkànrò pé ẹ lè máa dà láfíà gbogbo àwọn aráàlú àwa ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ lè máa dà láfíà wa rú ẹlẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe tí yín ẹ tún dé ẹni lọ́ dì yín lọ́wọ́ mú mi ò gbọ́ orú ẹ̀ látijọ́ mo ti rìn wípé àwa lè dì yín lọ́wọ́ mú àwa báwo ẹ̀yin tó jẹ́ pé máa ń lọ sí UN báyìí ẹ̀yin àti wọn ẹgbẹ́ lẹ́kan náà lẹ́jọ́ múlẹ̀ sí pẹ̀lú ọ̀gá yín ẹni tó máa ń lọ bẹ̀ lọ bá wọn dialogue tó máa ń bá wọn jíròrò tó máa ń sọ ọjọ́ kìíní àná ta rí àwọn mọ́tò UN tó ń lọ sí gbogbo ọ̀nà Benin or whatever tó ń kó oníṣẹ́ lọ ó ṣàjáde tó sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ pé kò tí ì yé yín ó máa yé yín kò yí yé yín ó máa ẹni tó ti mọ gbogbo àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tó mọ̀ pé gbogbo oníṣẹ́ tó kó wá ń gbà ẹ́ torí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation náà ṣe kó wá òun gan wọn kó wá torí orúkọ ẹ̀ ní orúkọ ẹ̀ gangan náà fi kó wá ń gbogbo ìgbà yẹn iye yín á sọ o torí ta bá sọ tẹ fi sílẹ̀ jẹ́ kó ṣiṣẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ tẹ ní kán fi sílẹ̀ kán ṣiṣẹ́ náà òun náà lélẹ̀ a ti wà lẹ́nu ẹ̀ báwọn ń ka 3 years fún wa nígbà tán dé ni àwa ti ń ka 2 years tiwọn náà ti fẹ́ẹ̀ pé tán báyìí títóbi fọ́lọ́run mo mọ̀ pé ìtagbé wa lọ́jọ́ tèmi bí òjò yẹ kan sí méjì ń bẹ àmàrè kọ̀ọ̀kan ń bẹ kọ́lọ́run kó ṣe dáadáa fún wa kọ́lọ́run kó má dojú ọ̀rọ̀ wa rú tó bá jẹ́ bí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń bẹ kọ́lọ́run ṣe àforíjì ẹ̀yin èèyàn náà ṣàforíjì fún wa ọmọdé kì í mú ẹ̀kọ́ jẹ kó máa rà lọ́wọ́ ẹ foríjì wa níbi ibi tó bá kù sí èyí tó bá jẹ́ dáńbẹ̀ náà oore ọ̀fẹ́ la rí gbà àwa tá à ń sọ yìí náà àwa ń gbìyànjú ni ẹ̀yin ọlọ́pọlọ pípé ẹ̀yin ìyá ẹ̀yin bàbá wa tẹ́ máa ń fi làákàyè bá wa lọ ẹni gbogbo ẹni ju àwa lọ ọmọ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ni àwa kọ́lọ́run jẹ́jẹ́ kó yé wa kọ́lọ́run kó ṣàánú fún wa brọ́dà mi àti sísà mi tó bá jẹ́ nígbà lẹ́yọ́kọ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ìkànnì ẹ bá wa subscribe ẹ dẹ̀ má gbàgbé láti bá mi fi comment sílẹ̀ ẹ bá wa like ètò yìí náà ẹ má lọ láì má jẹ́ pé bóyá ẹ like ẹ ṣe gan ni ìpàdé wa bí oyin o love you bye one love.
Àǹfààní ńlá rèé láti ilé-iṣẹ́ Serimas Homes and Apartments fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin arìnrìn-àjò nílẹ̀ yìí àti láti òkè òkun wá sí ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú owó tí kò gani lára láti fún ara ní ìsinmi aláìlẹ́gbẹ́. Fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ fẹ́ fún ara ní ìsinmi pẹ̀lú àwọn ohun amáyédẹrùn bí ìyàrá ọlọ́yẹ́, íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì, ilé ìdáná àti àyíká tó rẹwà. Bákan náà, àǹfààní yìí wà fún ẹ̀yin tó fẹ́ darí padà sí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ààyè tó dàbí ilé ẹni ni. Fún àlàyé ẹ kàn sí ilé-iṣẹ́ Serimas Homes and Apartments ní nọ́mbà 2F Akérèlé Extension Surulere, Lagos, Nigeria. Ẹ pè 08066710843 tàbí 08149737740 tàbí +44 789 795 8178.
You're welcome. Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.